Hey, it's Gabe with API Nation. Today I'm going to show you something very sweet. I'm going to show you how you can sync kvCORE to Slack. So as soon as you get a lead, as soon as you apply a hashtag, as soon as a status changes on a lead, any of those things, you can have it set up so it automatically pings the specific Slack channel that you want with that information. And it's not hard to set up using API Nation's new webhook tool. Let me show you what this looks like. So the first thing you're going to do is go to apination.com. You're going to hit start syncing. You're going to see a ton of different apps here, marketing apps, productivity apps, we got real estate apps. And I am actually first going to create a connection to Slack. First, I'm going to sign into API Nation by clicking here. If you don't currently have an API Nation account, they're totally free. Just click this sign up button and fill it out. You'll be up and running in a second. I have one, so I'm going to sign in. And you can sign in using your email and password you've set up already. Or we also have this awesome sign in with Google. Okay, so I've signed in. Now I'm going to go over here to apps. And I'm going to find the webhooks tool. I could scroll down or I could just search webhooks. There we go. So here's the webhooks tool. And if you aren't familiar with webhooks, I'll put a link in the description down below to a video we did that describes exactly what they do and some other ideas on how you can use them. But simply put, it's a direct connection you can create with some apps out there. In this case, we're going to do Slack, so that as soon as something happens with that webhook, it sends that information to the connected app, or it immediately pulls information from a connected app. And you can peruse a little bit. We can do webhooks with all these different apps from API Nation, a lot of different options. First, we got to create this Slack connection. So I'm going to click Connections, Add Account, and we are creating an outbound webhook. We're sending it out to Slack. That's where the information is going. You can create an inbound webhook. So if you have a form builder, Typeform, Google Forms, any of those other apps that accept information, we can create an inbound webhook for you, and then the information will sync right into the webhook, and we can drop it in kvCORE, for example. But today we're doing outbound. I'm going to click on the button, and we're just going to quickly configure it. So webhook label, we're just going to name this. We're going to call this Slack, and we're going to call this new lead. So I'm going to set this one up for new leads. That's sending it to the channel I want this alert to go to. But if you have a separate alert for when something gets hashtagged, or you have a separate alert for when a status changes on a lead, you're going to want a different webhook for that. So Slack new lead is this one. We need a webhook URL. So we are going to go grab that from Slack actually. I'm going to slide on over to Slack, and I'm going to come all the way down to the bottom here. You can see there's this Add Apps button. I'm going to click on that. There's a ton of different apps in here, but we're not going to use any of them right now. We're actually going to create our own, which sounds a little bit crazy, but it's actually super easy. I'm going to hit App Directory, and it's going to just link me to the page I'm really trying to get at, which is the app page on slack.com. I'm going to click on Build, and I'm going to click on this button that says Create an App. And if you want, you can bypass that whole navigation thing, but I find it's kind of easy. If you just want to go to api.slack.com/apps, it'll bring you here. You can go directly here. You don't have to go through all those clicks if you'd like. I'll put that link down in the description below too, so you can click right there. So once we're here, we're going to create an app, and we're going to create an app from scratch. We're going to call this app API Nation. New lead from kvCORE. And it's going to say, all right, where's this app going to work? Select your workspace and hit create an app. So you can see we have this app, we're working with it, and we're just going to set up the very simple incoming webhook. Click on that. I'm going to go ahead and activate my webhooks. And it's going to say, cool. When the webhook comes in, this is some information you need to know about it. Don't worry about that. We're just going to hit this button at the bottom that says add new webhook to workspace. It's going to go ahead and add it. It says, which channel is this alert going into? So choose the channel you want. I'm going to go ahead and pick this test channel we set up specifically for webhooks and hit allow. Great, so now we have this webhook. We are sending it to this channel. I'm going to copy that URL, which is what we're really here for. Go back to API Nation, paste in the URL, and this all looks great. So we have a label, we have a URL, the request method is correct, it's going to be post, the body type is JSON. Don't worry about that authentication method, and I'm going to hit generate webhook. All right, there we go. So we now have a Slack connection. Now we're going to go to integrations, and we're going to build this connection to kvCORE. So I'm going to go to the webhook apps, and I'm going to click on kvCORE, and you can see we can do kvCORE people to the webhook. We could also do information going from the webhook into kvCORE, and we can also send notes into kvCORE if you want. So you can also post a note to kvCORE from another app. I'm going to go ahead and use this one. This is the one we're trying to set up, sending information from kvCORE into the webhook into Slack. Step 1, connect kvCORE. If you don't currently have it connected, just hit this button. It'll ask you to sign in, and then you're good to go. I have it connected, so I'm just going to select that connection. And then it's going to ask you to select your webhook. There's that one we just created. If you want to create a new one for a different alert, you could do that now. Just hit connect, and it'll take you through that same process we went through. But I'm going to use that one we just created. That's why it's there. It says review settings. Not a lot to go on here. We don't need to sync all contacts. We're just trying to sync new leads as something is created. So I'm going to hit subscribe. All right. So now we have this sync up. It's not yet running. I have to hit this button to activate it. I'm going to come on down here, and we are going to specify some things. For example, if you wanted to get fancy with these alerts, you could filter for specific things. Right now, we're just going to send every new lead, every new contact that gets added to kvCORE into that Slack channel with an alert. But maybe you're sending Slacks to a specific person. So I could come down here and filter for, let's see, lead owner. There we go. And I can say, all right, I want the lead owner contains Gabe. That's me. So then every time there is a lead created in kvCORE, the email says gabe@apination.com, it's going to send that message. It's not going to send it for anybody else's lead but my own. So you can do it for lead owner. You can do it based on the hashtag, like I said. So when somebody hashtags a lead, it automatically sends that into the channel you want. Totally up to you. Right now, I'm just going to do it for all leads. So I'm going to clear this out. Once we decide on the filter or no filter, we're going to come down here to mapping, and we're going to hit this plus sign. And it's saying, all right, what is the field name called? If you go back here to that Slack page we were looking at, here's all the information about those requests to post. And you might see this little thing here that says text hello world. That's kind of a hint that text is the name of the field. Not a big deal. You don't even have to go check that if you don't want. You can just take my word for it. But you can say the name is text. So I'm going to add that field. And then this is where we put in the information we want posted to that Slack channel. So you can say, great news. New lead just came in. Here is their contact info. And then you can add the information here. First name, space, hit this plus sign. We're going to add last name, email, colon, boop, and phone. Add the phone number. Cool. So that's great. First name, last name, email, phone number. You can add any of this other information you want from the kvCORE lead in. If they're looking for a specific bedroom, bathroom, MLS ID, any of that stuff. Absolutely, pop that in there. Whatever's going to help you. Once we have the message we want sent over with every new lead, let's go to the top and hit activate sync. Perfect. The sync is now up and running. It's going to sync every 10 minutes, so it's going to check kvCORE every 10 minutes for a new lead. And then if it sees one, it's going to sync it right into Slack with that message. Let me show you what that will look like. So let's see, I'm going to add a contact. This will be Slackerson, Slack at, and this looks good. It's a buyer lead, and we're going to add that contact. Okay, so we've added Slackerson. Now, what'll happen is the sync that's keeping an eye on kvCORE will see it, and within 10 minutes or less, probably much less, it's going to send that message into Slack. Let's go take a look. And there it is. Great news. New lead came in. Here's the information. It's Slackerson with his email and phone. So that is it. That's how you connect kvCORE to Slack. Now, anytime a lead comes in for you, anytime a hashtag is added, Anytime a status is changed, you can have a message sent to the Slack channel of your choice. It's gonna make working within your office way easier, way faster, so that you can hop on top of these things and create more deals. If you have any questions or need any assistance setting up this sync, give us a phone call, shoot us an email. We're API Nation, and we're connecting the world's applications.